I'm going to close out the show today. I have one more topic I want to hit. Every time we talk about coronavirus and anyone tries to say, well, I think that should consider reopening the economy. I think we've got to look at ways to get Americans back to work. The chorus of virus shamers, I love that term Dr. Piper used, and I'm going to use that too. Virus shamers instantly go to the point of saying, do you understand, the number of people who've died? Yes, I know that there are, it's a very sad pandemic around the world. Of course it's sad. But that is not responsive to whether or not we should also be trying to reopen the economy. And you have stories that come out from the leftists, from the, everyone freeze in place and no one do anything until we get permission from the ruling elite doctors to freeze in place for the rest of your life. The other way people battle against the idea that we should reopen the economy is by talking about individuals and saying, well, did you know that so-and-so, she lost her sister and her mother, and so-and-so suffered for 2 weeks. She barely made it. And so-and-so suffered, and then her husband died. They tell individual stories, which is something the left has perfected in dozens and dozens of issues. Tell individual stories because they are heartrending, they are heart-wrenching, they draw people in. And so when people are hearing we should reopen the economy, they're picturing the story they heard from some leftist about an individual person. Yes, we all care about people suffering. We all want this to be over. We all understand people have suffered. But the economy is not about restoring the economy and getting people back to work, is not about greedy people who want more money in their bank accounts and are rubbing their hands together, can't wait to earn more money. The economy is about everyday Joe, everyday American. And I want to tell you about one in the great state of Texas. So here in Texas, we are in, total lockdown. We're in, where I live in Dallas County, shelter in place. You are told specific reasons you're permitted to leave your home. And a business owner wrote a letter to our governor in Texas. Our governor's Governor Abbott. And again, as I mentioned before in the show, he's Republican. All statewide officials in Texas are Republican. And we're still under this, pretty egregious, all businesses shut down, only essential businesses open. But I want to read you a little bit of this story, this letter this guy wrote to Governor Abbott, because it puts a human face on the argument about why we have to consider working toward reopening the economy. So this letter was written to to Governor Abbott by a guy named Jakey Saunders. And you can read the whole letter on my website, americacanwetalk.org, on the homepage, under shows, drop down list of links. I want to tell you about this guy, though. He wrote this letter to say, he's trying to be nice to Governor Abbott. In your understandable haste to get an order out, I think perhaps insufficient thought was given to the need to keep business activity going as far as possible. So he describes his company. On Wednesday, April 1st, my company, Lone Star Comics, the guy owns a comic book manufacturing and shipping outfit. That company, Lone Star Comics, shipped 1,700 orders to customers, many of them wanting something to read while they're forced to stay at home. On Thursday, April 2nd, we shipped nothing. And I've been forced to furlough 110 employees, our entire Lone Star Comics family. So this is an individual owns Lone Star Comics, has 110 employees. He says about his business, we're not open to the public. We're in a warehouse district. All of our business is via internet sales. We've had no one sick, have been doing everything recommended to avoid COVID-19 virus. Our building is huge. He gives the square footage. Our workstations are all at least 6 feet apart, usually more, with separation screens and cubicles. About 20% of our workforce is working from home. So he's basically getting at they're already following the social distancing and careful standards that are in place. He says, our small business, the largest comic book retailer in the world, does, and they redacted the amount of money, I'm not sure why, in sales monthly. You've taken all of that, Governor Abbott, out of our economy. A lot of other businesses depend on us for business. We are, for example, the UPS's largest North Texas customer among companies solely located in North Texas. Up until yesterday, my family business was writing paychecks to 110 people. We need to get back to that. He also tells, as an interesting aside, this guy tells about the idea that he started this comic book business, this whole thing that he does. He started the comic book business back when he was in junior high school. He says, I started Lone Star Comics in 1961 as a kid in junior high, selling comics by mail order out of my bedroom. I put myself through college selling comics. I opened my first of 8 brick and mortar stores in 1977. Sold them after seeing more opportunity in internet sales. And now, when my business is booming like never before, I see it shut down needlessly. That really hurts. And I tell you that story, and I want to just do a little bit of embellishment on it. So this guy has 110 employees. Most, maybe all those employees have families. Families who rely on the paycheck those businesses bring home. Those people bring home. So the people don't have a paycheck now. So they may be likely are having a hard time paying their rent or their mortgage. So they don't have money to pay their rent or mortgage. And so the landlord who owns the apartment complex can't get rent payments from the people who work for him, as well as from everyone else in the apartment complex who have also lost their jobs because of this shutdown. Those people, in turn, don't have money. The people who used to work and get a paycheck from this Lone Star Comics, they don't have sufficient money to buy food, to buy clothing, to buy essential items. So they're waiting for a check from the government to help them over this hump. And because those people don't have money to spend, the Lone Star Comic employees, all the stores that they used to go to in their neighborhoods, the local grocery store, the drugstore, the gas station, the local 5 and 10, wherever they would shop, all those stores don't have customers because the customers don't have any money because they're not getting paychecks. I know this for some people. If you're an economist by background, you think this is, I'm talking like economics 101, and I kind of am. But for Americans who think that the whole argument about bringing America back to work, helping America get back to work, bringing back our economy is somehow about mean, selfish, greedy, rich people wanting more money out of the stock market, that's not what it's about. It's about people like this guy, this Texan named Jakey Buddy Saunders. It's about Buddy Saunders in Texas. It's about people like him all over the country who own businesses, who aren't going to hurt anyone, who are willing to be compliant, and they can't open their doors. So employees cannot earn paychecks. And I'm going to guess this company, Lone Star Comics, they have the business version of what most people have in their home life, which is most Americans do not have savings to continue perpetuating their lifestyle if they lose their job. They don't have savings so they can keep on paying their rent or their mortgage. They don't have savings to keep on up their car payment or other payments on loans they've made, or to keep on paying for their family's life. Just like people don't have that, this business, Lone Star Comics, very likely it is not a high revenue, home run, the guy's a gazillionaire kind of business. It's a business. It's small business America. It's a guy who makes money by something he obviously loves, comics, and he ships them via internet orders around the country to people who enjoy them. And this guy very likely does not have the capacity to keep paying those employees, just like the people whom he employed don't have sufficient money to pay their bills. He doesn't have, this owner of this business doesn't have money to keep paying his employees. And then that owner, in addition to the fact he's not making internet sales, so he can't keep bringing money in, how long can he continue to pay for his own business? He's got a warehouse where people work. How long can he keep on paying his rent payment if he's renting, or if he has purchased it, to be paying the mortgage on the business, or to be paying his property taxes? People get forced to sell their property because they can't pay their taxes. This shut down the economy. Hurts real people like Mr. Buddy Saunders in Texas and millions of people just like him all over America. The economy, my friends, is about people.